Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to the channel. So today I want to talk about women's health or just health in general, and I just want to share with you all, a little bit of my journey, a little bit of my life, and just where I am in my health journey today. I think it's so important for not only women, but really everybody to talk about health or to discuss health and to, be constantly thinking of ways to improve our health, make certain lifestyle changes that will not only make us healthier, but grant us a better quality of life. And, I just kind of want to have a conversation about it. I want to, share some supplements that I've been taking over the years that have helped me. I want to share some tips that have helped me. I want to talk about our cycles. I want to talk about eating healthier. I want to talk about exercise, especially with me being a mom, me being a wife, or we as women, we go through so many different transitional periods in our lives, even when it comes to our cycle. This is something that we have every month, and so many women have trouble with their cycles. And I just want to have a conversation about it, not only with the cycles, but pregnancies, striving to be active and healthy as a mom, with a newborn, with younger children, or just wherever you are in your life. Just have a conversation about how we can just make improvements in our life where we are, and before I start, I just want to say that I am not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I didn't go to school or I didn't go to college, to figure certain things out for myself. For me, I believe it's very important for us to do research individually. Only you know your body. No one else knows your body, better than you do. So it's important for us to know ourselves, to, take time to ourselves, whether it be spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, in every way, shape, or form. Nobody knows you better than yourself. And, I know that people have different opinions and perspectives when it comes to the healthcare field and doctors and so on and so forth. I know I have my opinions about it. So I'm more so, holistic approach, basically doing what you can yourself to make a healthy lifestyle for yourself, not being dependent on a doctor to, tell you what to do with yourself. And this is not a podcast where I'm going to be going deep into that, but I just want you all to know that I am into the holistic approach. And over the years, that is the approach that I've been taking. Yes, I may go to the doctor every now and then get blood work done. I do believe that doctors are beneficial for certain things when we don't have certain resources. I'll say that, or if we don't have certain knowledge. So yes, still get your blood work done. Yes, still get certain tests done if you don't have the resources for it. But that's totally up to you. That's up to your research. That's up to where you are in your life. But that's the whole point of this podcast, sparking conversation for all of these things. And no, I don't have all of the answers. I'm not coming on here, trying to pretend that I have all of the answers, but I don't. But I more so just want to just share where I am, share my journey, share where I am. I feel that I could bring some information to you all. And also I do encourage you all to share information with me. If you come across this video and you know anything about health, or if you want to comment on anything that I've been through in my life, or even some things that I am still struggling with now, if these are some things that you have maybe gone through, or certain supplements that you take that help you with where you are and you want to share, please do not be shy. Please share the knowledge, share the information that you have. This is the whole point of my podcast. This is the whole point of me making videos, making these kind of videos, in fact, because I believe in us helping one another. I believe in community. I believe in, us sharing the knowledge or sharing whatever we have so that we can help one another. So I guess I'll talk a little bit about my childhood. So I grew up not eating the best. I was an active child. I did spend a lot of time outside. I was born in the 90s, 96. So yeah, your girl is about to be 30 next year. So my childhood was I spent a lot of time outside, but we didn't eat the best as a family. So I did struggle with my weight growing up. I was overweight. I would say I was around like 180 in middle school. And I did gymnastics, did baton. This was like elementary, and I ran track in high school. So as time went on, I would indulge in sports or play sports, or just do what I could in order to stay active. But I struggled a lot with my health, all around. My vitamin D was constantly low. I was always tired. I just didn't feel my best. I got dehydrated very easily because I wasn't eating fruits, I wasn't eating vegetables, I wasn't drinking water. There were just so many things that I went through as a child physically, where I just knew changes had to be made, with my weight and just how I felt, not only mentally, but physically, and how that weighed on me as a child, and then growing up and also getting picked on for my weight and getting picked on for how I looked, or so on and so forth. So that was my life at one point. So as I got older, and as I started getting more into sports, I would say around like high school, around like my sophomore, junior year, this is when I started to just take my health more seriously, like working out more and eating healthier. I did have parents, specifically my dad was very adamant about being involved in our health, not only mine, but my siblings as well. I do have brothers. So he was very adamant on getting me to the gym, getting us to the gym, or going for walks, or, working with us with our sports, taking us to the track, or, teaching us about healthier meals or protein, or so on and so forth. So, thankfully, I had very supportive parents that helped me along the way, to lose weight and to learn about health and to learn about, taking better care of myself. But as I got older and time progressed, I started taking that on for myself. I started learning about herbalism. I started learning about, more holistic approaches like ginger, like turmeric, like fruits, like just herbs in general, anything that can help you or that is beneficial to your body. Sunlight, sunlight is so very important for us. It's important for us to get sunlight every single day. It's just so many things that we can learn about and things that we can change or implement in our lives that will change us for the better and that will help us for the better. So yeah, as I got older, I just kind of got into it for myself. So this is why I am the way that I am now. I'm big on health. I'm big on fitness. I'm big on being active. And no, I'm not perfect. I don't work out every day. I'm not a gym girly as far as like making gym videos every day. I don't have, a stacked body, like, of course, I still slip up. Of course, I still eat things that I know I'm not supposed to be eating, and I'm doing better with that, or at least trying to do better with that. But that's the whole point of the conversation, for us to encourage one another. But yeah, just learning as we go. I will say that, learning as we go, learning as I go. Especially because now I have a family of my own. So now I am able to cook our meals, which is very important, and which is what helps a lot for me to be able to cook our meals, because for one, you are able to know what is going on in your food. You can buy your own produce, you can buy your own seasoning. And even with the seasonings, you have to be careful with those, because a lot of things contain salt, or they contain MSG, and there's nothing wrong with salt. We need salt for hydration, but you don't want to OD your salt. I'll say that. You don't want salt in every single thing, or you don't want salt in all of your seasonings. So just using sea salt and then having seasonings just with like herbs for flavor, so that's why cooking is important, because you can control what goes into your food. When you're eating fast food, that quick food, the fried food, we all know that is not the best. We all know that is unhealthy for us. So getting away from the fried food, or the fast food, or the processed food, is very beneficial for us. So if I had to say anything, cook your own food. When you cook your own food, you just have more control of what goes into your body. Another thing that has helped me is intermittent fasting. So eating like 2 times a day. The society or the world that we live in, but America, the United States, I believe that we have a problem with gluttony. We see it on social media. We see all of these people doing these mukbangs, and they're eating tons and tons and tons of food. And if you're sitting there watching those videos, you don't think you're gonna be influenced to eat what they're eating, or to eat as much as they're eating. And not only that, you're sitting there watching them eat, and it is wasting your time as to other things that you can be doing, like being active, getting up, going out, and being active. So gluttony. And not only does the word of God speak about gluttony, or it speaks about how it is contrary to living in the spirit, it is contrary to our health. When it talks about how our bodies are temples, and our bodies are temples where the Holy Spirit dwells. So we also have to just be mindful of those things. So fasting, intermittent fasting, if you are not at a place where you can fast, do a water fast or a fruit and vegetable fast, if you're not there yet, just try to limit your food. Try to cut out certain things in your diet that is not good for you. No one is expecting you to have this perfect diet or to have this perfect lifestyle, but I always encourage people to start somewhere, to start wherever you can. And over time, as your body adjusts and as you become more disciplined, you will be able to make more changes or greater changes that you would like, or whatever works best for you. As I always say, be in prayer about everything, and do your research. So intermittent fasting, you don't want to be eating all day, every day. Give your body time to rest. Give your digestive system time to rest. If you don't know the benefits of fasting or intermittent fasting, I do encourage you to look up those benefits. I'm not here to, tell you all of the facts, all of the details, because that will be like a super long video. But I'm just throwing certain things out there for you to research, or that you can implement in your life. So intermittent fasting, and also how I spoke about cooking and with the intermittent fasting, starting your day with a herbal tea, starting your day, eating fruit, or not eating at all, not eating when you first get up, but giving your body time to hydrate, tea, water, fruit, and then when it gets later, when you get hungry, then make your food, then make whole foods. I don't know where you are in terms of what you're eating, but if you eat meat, focus on lean protein, focus on your chickens or your ground turkey or your fish. Fish is really good. Fish is one of my favorite things to eat. It is high in protein, it has good fats, so fish is really good. Your whiting, your croaker, your whatever has fins and scales, that's what I aim to eat. But yeah, focus on your lean protein, focus on your fiber. So protein and fiber is what I have been focusing on like this past year, because fiber helps you go to the bathroom. Not only does fiber help you go to the bathroom, but it keeps you full longer. And when you eat all of the fast food, you're eating all of these sugars, all of these pancakes, this candy, cupcakes, you're eating this breakfast, that is unhealthy, or just cereal, that spikes your blood sugar. So what we want to aim for steady blood sugar, and we want to aim for using the bathroom consistently. We want to aim for, staying full longer, because when we eat the things like chips, or when we eat the things like, that are high in fats or high in carbs, they don't keep us full. So it's like we're constantly hungry, we're constantly snacking. So if you want to do more research on what fiber does for you, on what lean proteins does for you, please do that. That's what I've been focusing on in terms of my meals, focusing on protein, focusing on fiber. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Exercise. Just making sure that you're active every day. I'm not saying you have to go to the gym every day. I'm not saying you have to go for a run every day. But implement something in your life that will keep you active. Like I said, some of us are mothers, some of us are working, some of us have busier schedules than others. And what I like to do, because I am a mom and because I am a stay-at-home mom and a wife, and I'm doing all of these things, I try to make sure all of the things that I'm doing around the house keeps me active. And not only that, I play with my daughter. I play with my niece and my nephew. When we go to the park, I play. When we go outside and they get on the trampoline, hey, I'm getting on the trampoline too. When we go outside and we play and they play soccer, I'm playing soccer too. If we go somewhere where they can be active, I'm going to be active too. So you have every opportunity to be active. You just have to do it. You really have to do it. So having children does not stop you from being active. If anything, I would say for me, having my daughter has helped me be active in a certain standpoint. And even outside of that, just making time for yourself, going to the gym, getting on the treadmill. Even if you're doing workouts at home, you can always look at videos, online or on YouTube to show you how to do certain at-home exercises. I have resistant bands here at home, and they are not expensive at all. You can probably get a pack on Amazon for like $15-$20, and those work very well. You can use them for literally your whole body, your arms, your legs, your back. You don't even have to pay for a personal trainer. You don't have to pay for a gym membership. You don't have to really pay for anything unless you just want to, like I mentioned, the resistant bands, or if you do want to get certain equipment, that's totally up to you. But you can also use your body weight. Of course, depending on your body goals, you may have to go to the gym, or you may have to purchase weights in order to bulk up or to tone more. It really depends. But we're just speaking about just being active in general, just living a lifestyle where you are active, and you can do that at home every day. You can do that in your neighborhood every day. You can do it with your children every day. Of course, take time to rest. I'm not saying just run yourself to the ground, but just making that lifestyle change to where being active is one of your priorities for you. And I just want to encourage you that it's easy and it's doable. For some people, I'm not going to say it's easy, but I will say it's doable. And I just want to encourage you because I know how it is, being a mom or having a baby and you just feel like blah and you're just like, you just don't have the energy or you don't have the strength, to get back in the gym or to, work out, exercise or whatever. But I will say it gets better. It gets better with time. Just make sure you are taking care of yourself. And that also means, mentally, spiritually, that plays a part. And spiritually, that helps too. When you are working on yourself spiritually, that is also going to play a part physically. Like I mentioned before about how our bodies are temples. Developing my relationship with the Father more, developing my relationship with Christ more, reading scripture, meditating on scripture has helped me all around. Of course, I'm not perfect. Of course, I'm still growing in a lot of areas, but it has helped me all around in many different areas, including physically. Even in the Bible, it talks about our health, or even in the Bible, it talks about the things that God has created for us to consume. The Bible talks about healing. It talks about so many other things that we can take in order to take better care of ourselves, food, herbs, fasting. The Bible talks about so many things that helps with not only spiritually, but our physical health. So yeah, I just want to say that being in spiritual alignment also will help you physically. So we cannot miss that. Your spiritual health is the most important. Yes, bodily exercise profits, but spiritual is more. Even that is scripture, that yes, bodily exercise, it profits little. The spiritual is what matters the most. And when you are in alignment spiritually, everything else will fall into place. So continue to seek the kingdom, continue to pray about the things that you need to pray for. And the Father will lead you and guide you and direct you in where you need to go. And He will make things clear for you. Okay, so now I want to talk about cycles. I want to talk about periods. I want to talk about gut health and just all of the things that I haven't really touched on yet. So we as women, we go through so much in general, especially just with our hormones and our reproductive system. Many women are struggling with PCOS and so many other things. So I just want to share certain changes that I've made over time and certain things that I've noticed that has just helped me along the way. So lifestyle changes, or just the way that we live our life in general, is very important. So many women have painful periods, they have heavy bleeding, they are fatigued. There are so many things when it comes to their cycles, and even just throughout time in general. So I want to say that your cycle is going to the way that you take care of yourself is the way that your cycle is going to respond. So I realized that when I'm eating the things I'm not supposed to be eating, when I'm eating the dairy, when I'm eating the fried foods, when I'm just not being active, when I'm treating myself poorly or negatively, when I'm feeding my body that does not nourish me, when I'm feeding myself things that do not nourish me, when I'm not feeding myself fruits or vegetables, if I'm not feeding myself things that are specifically made and designed for our body. That's the other thing. We have to know that certain things were specifically designed and made for our bodies. So that's when it comes to whole foods. That's when it comes to the herbs. That's when it comes to the fruits and the vegetables, and so on and so forth. So the things that were specifically designed for your body, and just properly taking care of yourself. I've noticed that when I don't take care of myself, when my cycle comes around, I have the pain, I have the heavy bleeding, I'm tired, so on and so forth. But as I've gotten older, and I've done more research and I've made the changes, yes, I still experience some cramping, some tiredness, but it's not as bad as it was when I was younger. Because, like I said, when I was younger, I didn't really know much. I wasn't really taking care of myself. But now, being older and doing the research and making the lifestyle changes, my cycle isn't as bad, half as bad as it was. I can still, it depends. I can still get up and do things on my cycle. And yes, I still have moments to where I'm tired. Yes, I still have moments where I rest. Rest is very important. If you can rest on your cycle, I will say that, because our bodies are going through certain things, not only our cycles, but going through pregnancy as well. Our bodies are going through these changes, and we're purging things from out of our bodies, and so many things are going on. So I would say rest if you can. Rest is a big factor. Hydrating yourself, just taking care of yourself. And with that being said, I want to share a supplement with you all that has helped me as well. So this is not a promotion. I am not getting paid to show you guys these supplements. I'm just sharing it with you because they have helped me. So this is raspberry leaf tea. This one is just the raspberry leaf, and this one is raspberry leaf with other herbs in it too. It has raspberry leaf, licorice root, stinging nettle leaf, dandelion, spearmint, rose hip, ginger, chamomile, and so many other things. If you don't know me, I'm a ginger girly anyway. I eat ginger or consume ginger almost every day. So yeah, raspberry leaf is specifically designed for our reproductive system. When you research raspberry leaf, or even when you get these teas, you will see that it says for menstrual support and herbal labor tonic. So this is for the pregnant mamas. This is for us women going through our menstrual cycles. So yeah, if you do not have raspberry leaf tea, please go get some. So when I'm on my cycle, I don't eat right away. I drink me some tea. In the morning when I get up. I just focus on hydrating. I don't eat anything heavy. I just drink tea. And when I tell you, this tea helps so much, like no cramping at all. So yeah, please get this tea, and just please look deeper into herbs. Look deeper into things that naturally help our bodies as women. So yeah, raspberry leaf tea, and also look up all of these other herbs that I mentioned back here, like the stinging nettle and the dandelion, which are also really good. So yeah, really just lifestyle changes. And I want to talk about gut health because I've always had issues with my gut. I've always had issues with my stomach ever since I was younger. My parents used to say I would throw up a lot even when I was a baby. So I don't know for me if it's just always been an issue or the way my body has been designed. Ever since I could remember, I have had issues with my gut ever since I was a baby. Like, they would say I would projectile vomit, and I don't know if it was what they were feeding me. I don't know if it was, I just don't know. And I've gotten certain diagnoses back. They would try to tell me that I had IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. But long story short, I've just been trying to stay away from things that that mess me up, which is dairy, so when it comes to dairy, that means dairy milk, that means dairy cheese, that means dairy ice cream, that means anything with dairy in it. I am supposed to be staying away from it because it messes me up. And even other things mess me up too, but the main thing for me is dairy. Not only dairy, but fried foods or processed food. So those two things for me are like the biggest culprits for me. And when I have these episodes, I experience, tiredness, upset stomach. I'm going to the bathroom, I experience anxiety, lower back pain, and, all of these things. And this is when I'm not taking care of myself. So when I am, ridding these things from out of my diet, I feel a lot better. When I am being active, I feel a lot better. So with that being said, I want to share more supplements with you all that I have taken over the years. So also, I mentioned anxiety with the IBS or whatever. I've experienced that through the years too, not only with my stomach, but mental health, spiritual health. I've experienced anxiousness in many different ways. And like I spoke about earlier, just being in spiritual alignment with many things. But I'm going to share with you another supplement. Okay, so what I have right here are digestive enzymes, and I have ashwagandha. So the ashwagandha is a herbal supplement that helps to reduce stress, and it helps with anxiety. It says to helps reduce stress, help maintain healthy cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone, and it says boost mental and physical performance. Of course, you don't have to get this brand. This is the brand that I have just gotten, that works well for me. And I can say that they do help. I can tell a difference because not only does it have the ashwagandha in it, it also has ginger in it as well. Like I said, I'm a ginger girly. Ginger is very good for the gut, which is why I'm always taking ginger. So yeah, I feel like not only when I take it does it settle my stomach, but it settles me, like my mind as well. And I'm not one for taking things or being dependent on things, but if you have to take something, I will say get a natural supplement like this. Like, I don't take these every day. I take these spontaneously. These are not something that I take every day, but I just take them when I can, or I take them when I feel like it. Of course, we all want to live a life to where we don't have to be dependent on certain things, or we don't have to take certain things. But hey, sometimes in life, that's just what it is. Sometimes our bodies are in a place to where we may need that extra help, or we may need that extra boost. So please, look into your natural supplements. And I am one for ashwagandha. It helps me a lot. It calms me. I wouldn't even say calms me, but I can tell a difference in my mental when I take the ashwagandha. So this other one is digestive enzymes with prebiotics and probiotics. So basically, this helps to digest your food. It helps break down your food: protein, carbs, dairy, veggies, legumes, and fats. I will read you some of the ingredients. It has prebiotics and probiotics, organic anulin from Jerusalem artichoke, some other stuff I can't pronounce. It has organic peppermint leaf and organic ginger root. And there we go again. And then it shows you all of the digestive enzyme blends. So like I said, when it comes to gut health, I take these two, and I can tell a difference when I take these two. These help me go to the bathroom. I can tell, you can take these either before or after you eat. So I can tell that these help me as well. And even with the peppermint leaf, that helps support it just like coats the lining of your digestive tract, I believe, and it makes it's soothing, But yes, the ashwagandha and the digestive enzymes are two supplements that I also take for the gut and also for the anxiousness. Okay, so the last two I want to talk about are the oil of oregano and these vitamin code multivitamins. So I don't know how you all feel about multivitamins. All vitamins are not made the same. So you may not be a vitamin girly, you may not be a vitamin person, but I heard that Garden of Life is a really good brand. They have really good reviews. They always have natural supplements. Even when we look back here, everything is organic. They have a raw organic fruit and vegetable blend. They have raw probiotic and enzyme blend. They have a raw antioxidant and immune support complex. So on top of all of your vitamins, minerals, vitamin D, vitamin K, iron, magnesium, so many other things. So I would say if you are looking for a multivitamin, try Garden of Life. These are really good. They are organic. They have all of your extra supplements and blends. They have your probiotics, prebiotics. They have your fruits and your vegetable blends, all organic. So yeah, vitamin code. Oil of oregano. Get this. This should be in your pantry. This should be in your house somewhere. Oil of oregano is an antioxidant. It is a lot of things. It boosts your immune system. I take it when I feel like I'm coming down with a cold or something. You put it in water, you mix it up, and you drink it. But oregano has so many benefits. Please research oregano. Get the food grade oregano, and just see if this is something you're interested in. See if this is something that'll help you. This is also Garden of Life. So yeah, I like Garden of Life. They have good supplements. This is organic, seasonal drops. But yeah, oil of oregano is really good. Helps with so many things. I saw a video actually of this kid. I think he was in like high school. He did a science project with oil of oregano, and I want to say the other one was amoxicillin. Basically, he was comparing oil of oregano with antibiotics, and the oil of oregano did a way better job than the antibiotics that the doctors put us on. So that's just one example of when I say that God has given us all that we need. And of course, we're going to have to research. Of course, I'm not saying just jump into taking certain things, but make the time to research, make the time to see, okay, what does this herb do? What does that herb do? And of course, I can become much more knowledgeable. I don't know everything about herbs, but I know what I know now. And this is where I am right now. Just making the changes or implementing certain things that have helped me along the way in my life. I have a couple more things to say. Our cookware, our skin products, all of this artificial stuff that they try to sell to us or put in our body, whether it be nails, the hair, the makeup, so on and so forth. Please do your research, because all of these things play a part in our health. I know it may get to a point where we feel like, dang, we can't do anything. I know even sometimes I feel like, dang, like I thought this was healthy, we can't eat this. But I also want to say, try not to get overwhelmed with things, because it's easy to get on social media and to be overwhelmed with everything. So that's why it it is important to be in prayer about things, because I will also say that everyone's body is not the same. We are all in different places in our lives, and we may be called to do different things in our lives, and that's including with our health. The things that I take, or the way that I live my life right now, it may not be for you. So which is why I say, be in prayer, and to truly figure you out, and to see what you need for yourself. So just try not to overwhelm yourself, and take it a day at a time, and to just do what you can. That's the whole point. The whole purpose is to do what you can. It's not to live in fear. It's not to say that, oh, I can't eat this, oh, I can't eat that, but it's to be progressive in the ways that you can. Nobody's perfect, no matter how people may make it seem, but I'm just here to encourage you to just make the changes that you can. We as women, and we as people, should really just be here to support and encourage one another in many ways, which is including our health. And if you need an accountability partner, I am here, because I sure be needing one too. Sometimes I'll be slipping up, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I'm here to encourage and to support you all, and just praying that we all can do better in the areas where we may be struggling in. And that's really about it. So I just hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that someone somewhere was able to take away something from this video that either encouraged you, or that either gave you more knowledge, or that sparked your interest in something or somewhere. Please feel free to like, comment, interact. I'm always open and looking forward to interacting with you. Like I said, please send your knowledge, please send the information that please share your journey, because hey, like I said, I'm still trying to do better in areas. I don't know all things, but that's what we're here for, to help each other and to teach each other in so many ways. So I hope you guys have a good day, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video.